Folks, the election is now weeks away, and unfortunately, many of our community are going to be making big strategic mistakes with who they vote for. It can feel warm and fuzzy voting for some of the smaller parties, such as the Green Party or Workers' Party, but it isn't always the correct move. Let me explain. Our parliamentary democracy works on first-past-the-post system, meaning that in each of the 650 seats, the candidate with the most votes win, and all the others are completely ignored. So in many seats, it really does become a two-horse race between the Tories and the Labour. That means in the UK, more than other countries, it's really important to figure out which candidate is actually the most likely to be able to build enough votes together to actually win. Let me give you an example. Here is Burnley, a town held by the Tories with 15,700 votes, with Labour coming second at 14,400 votes. As you can see, the Brexit Party took away a bunch of the traditional Labour voters here, and that's why Labour lost. So what's going to happen in this upcoming election? Well, the Tory vote is collapsing, and the question is, where is that vote going to go? I think it's safe to assume the Reform Party will hoover up the Brexit Party votes, plus a few more perhaps from Labour, but mainly from the Tories, so that weakens the Tories. Labour will certainly hoover up votes from the Tories, so that weakens the Tories even further. So at this point, the Lib Dems become really vital, you see, because a bunch of the more centrist Tories will actually go Lib Dem. So the Lib Dem vote should increase here from 3,500 to perhaps 8,000. If Labour is sitting pretty at, say, 17,000, you might think, well, there's not a chance of stopping Labour. But that's where you might be wrong, because the Muslim community makes up 14,000 of the electorate here, and they mostly voted Labour last time. So if a big chunk of them end up voting Lib Dem, not only would they bleed the Labour vote, they would add to the Lib Dem vote. So if 5,000 Muslims switch from Labour to Lib Dem, suddenly the Labour vote goes down to 12,000 and the Lib Dem increases to 13,000. So in Burnley, the Muslim community locally correctly got behind the Lib Dem candidate and could yet swing the seat. The Muslim vote also endorsed the Lib Dem candidate. Unfortunately, in a number of other seats, our community has not fully thought it through and made similar decisions where we are talking about potentially swinging the entire seat, without considering the tactical voting element. This should be a lesson for us to learn in this election for the next time. But does that mean we never vote for the Greens, Workers' Party or Independents? No, there are absolutely situations where that also makes sense. Let's take a look at Ilford South. This is a simply enormous Labour majority of 24,000, with Labour gaining 35,000 votes. Realistically, Labour are likely to win this seat, especially as the Tory vote crumbles away even further. So here, voting for any of the alternative candidates is a good idea, and we should do that in a unified fashion as a community. This could be the Green Party, Lib Dems, Workers' Party, or an independent. If a big chunk of the Muslim community, of 36,000 voters by the way, got behind one candidate, that would seriously dent the Labour majority. So if 15,000 Muslim votes went from Labour to Noor Jahan Begum, an independent, suddenly the Labour vote falls to just 20,000 and Noor Jahan has 15,000. Still, she wouldn't win it, but the message sent is an incredibly powerful one. And if Noor Jahan wanted to build on this success in the next election, now she would be fighting against a 5,000 majority rather than a 24,000 majority. So practically, how should you vote? Check TMV. Unity is the most important tactic, because if the Muslim community can show that it can unite and vote as a bloc, that's a serious challenge to the Labour Party in about 30 seats that it would traditionally easily win. In certain key seats where there's a Muslim-heavy population and the local MP abstained or voted against the ceasefire, and where we have a strong independent candidate, we have to take the fight to Labour. An example of this would be Liane Mohammed in Ilford North, or Ahmed Yaqub in Birmingham Ladywood, or Shokat Adam in Leicester South. In seats in Scotland, note that Labour basically really need to win back Scotland if they're going to have a big win. Without Scotland, one back from the SNP, they will struggle. So in Scotland, vote SNP is the default. In Wales, it can be a bit more nuanced, but typically you should be voting for Plaid Cymru or Greens. In Tory safe seats, you should tactically almost always vote Lib Dem. Take a look at the seat Lib Dems are targeting. Almost all of them are the Tory seats. And guys, I know as Muslims we're more often aligned with the sweet old man who's a local Green Party rep, or the Muslim guy who is the Workers' Party rep, but that isn't tactical voting. The Lib Dems as a whole voted for a ceasefire on the issue that really mattered, and they are the best place to defeat the Tories in these seats. Make sure you do your checks. Make sure the Lib Dem in question isn't a Zionist, but chances are they are almost always going to be better than the Tory. So folks, if in doubt, consult the TMV website. Make sure you vote, and make sure you encourage your entire family to vote. Like this video and share it with your friends and family so we can get maximum reach. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.